Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you not a man.
That's it.
My guy, Matt Price. Man, what a story we have for you guys today for episode 213. This guy and the organization that he has poured his life here, his adult life into, and his heart and soul, and has made it a family. And RBI Austin has truly become a family. Matt, just thanks for carving out some time to do an episode on this, and it's really not hard to talk about something that you love.
Absolutely, man. Sean, thanks for having me, man. Good to hang with you.
This is long overdue. I can't believe we're 213 episodes in, and you and I have not been able to find some time. It should have been 100 at least at the
Well,
max.
man, hey, as long as you and I can grab a 1 in a million taco every now and then, I'm gonna be happy, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain.
For those who don't even have the opportunity to live in Austin currently, 1 in a million on the east side of Austin, one of the OGs of East Austin, 1 in a million, Tex-Mex. He says a taco or burrito. This thing is larger than somebody's limb.
Oh, yeah.
And it's well worth it. And sometimes I can approve for this. I'm proof it causes a food coma.
No doubt. That was the word I had, man. It puts you in a coma. Don't go there on a Longhorn football weekend because the line's going to be too long. But yeah, man.
It's well worth it. Before we get started, we got to give a shout out to Honest Air Conditioning and Plumbing. They handle North Austin and all the northern suburbs. Their main office is located in Hutto. I know air conditioning is probably not going to be a concern for 2 or 3 months, but we do live in Austin. And the weather does change, but it is time to start servicing, maintaining those heaters and any plumbing issues before we start having those freezes that we do have from time to time. The guys, Will, David, Floyd, it's locally owned and veteran owned. Give Honest AC and Plumbing a call for all of your heater, AC, and plumbing needs. All right. So, Matt Price, your journey to Austin, Texas, what brought you here to Austin? And we're going to break this down because we're going to lead it all up to when you took the initiative to create an RBI chapter here in Austin.
Yes, sir. So, born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas, down on the coast. Went up to school in the Chicago area, Wheaton College. Froze my butt off for 4 years. There. Hightailed it back to Texas as fast as I could after graduating, which landed me in Austin, Texas, for a job with Frost Bank. So I was doing commercial lending at Frost for my first few years in Austin and have never left. That was 2007. So got here in 2007 and have not left since.
So that's when you were at Frost and you started, because I know you're heavily involved in the baseball family. If you ever see that hashtag baseball family, it's very broad. But the baseball family is real, and the baseball family helps each other out, and that includes softball as well. Yeah. When did you first hear of RBI? Because it's nationwide, it's sanctioned by MLB. And how did you really said, you know what, I want to get involved, and I would like to start one of those here in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, the baseball family hashtag, man. You know what's funny? When I got to Austin, I was burnt out on baseball because I played most of my life, played in college. All 4 seasons in college, we had losing seasons. Right? And so when you put in all that time and sweat and effort and freeze your butt off for 4 years and you don't have a single winning season, it kind of takes it out of you, man. So I got to Austin and I was really focused on the corporate track and banking, and I was kind of ready to take a break from baseball. And as things play out, a lot of times God had a different plan. So I had a friend from church named Candace, and she was a teacher at the time at Reagan High School, now called Northeast High School, Northeast Austin. And she said, Matt, hey, you played college baseball. You should come help out with our baseball team at Reagan. And I said, Candace, I'm not a coach. I'm a banker. What are you talking about? And she's like, dude, you played college baseball. Get your butt over there and talk to our coach. And so she kind of stuck on me for a little bit. And eventually I ended up meeting the coach. It was Coach Lewis at the time at Reagan. And really thought nothing would come from it, but started helping out a couple of days a week, would take off the suit and tie and just go help out at practice. And man, I'll tell you what, first time I show up for a practice at Reagan High School, this is January 2009. And it's, in Texas, we start our high school baseball in January, right?
Right.
And so this is an official practice. And I show up and Coach Lewis says, hey, guys, this is Matt Price. He's going to help us out some this season. He played college ball. Matt, here are the guys. There's maybe 9 or 10 players there. And then he goes, all right, guys, we all have fun. I'm going to go over to basketball practice and finish up there. And just leaves me with the team. And I said, oh, so that was my introduction to Reagan High School baseball. And I learned shortly after they hadn't won a single baseball game in 8 years.
Wow.
Right. So about 0 for, probably 100 plus games over that span. And there was a lot that went into that. But man, that's how I got involved. And then as I was there, man, started to get to know the players, got to hear some of their stories, some of their backgrounds, some of their heart, and just, you had a mix of guys. You had some that were really there and committed and worked hard. Some that maybe, they pulled out of the football roster just to fill a spot on the baseball team. But there's a core of guys there who really cared and got to know well. And the long story short is outside of that school team, they didn't really have opportunities to play. So start asking guys, hey, where do y'all play summer ball? And none of them played anywhere. I said, guys, you're never going to win a game if you're not working at it and playing outside of your school team. And they said, well, coach, we got nowhere to play. So, man, that summer had a good friend. I think you know him, Andy Harris, who I kind of got him connected and share what we're doing. He met some of the guys, and we said, hey, what if we started the summer ball team? And had no idea what we were doing, but went for it. First team meeting, 2 players show up. We said, oh boy, this may not work out. I know we can play baseball with 2 guys, but there was a mom there of one of these 2 players who was just a bedrock of that community, super involved in the school, knew a lot of the kids. And she said, hey guys, no, we're going to make this happen. These boys need a place to play. So we had a summer ball team called the East Austin Blazers, named one of our players. And that's where it all started, man. And that was before RBI was even a thought. But as we got going, man, we just saw God doing some cool stuff, man. Saw these relationships form, saw these guys get their first high school win that summer.
God, that's rewarding.
On and off the field in all different ways. And man, that was kind of the origins of it. 2 years later, I'm leaving my bank job to help start RBI Austin. So that's how we got there. 2011 is when we officially launched as RBI Austin, and we're still going, man. 11 years later, you've been a big part of our story, but we're still here.
It's amazing. That story. Every time I hear it, and you tell a little differently, but it's still the same. And I think a lot of people, if they meet you and meet all of the amazing people who we'll get to here shortly, they'll have a better understanding. And we have a certain event that I think I encourage everyone that I think we're always recruiting. The foundation, and I think this really sums it up, what RBI is: relationships, baseball, softball, mentorship, and then what you like. There are roles for everyone who wants to be involved. Is there any way to elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a role for everybody, because you either got some time, or you got some money, or you got some relationships that you might want to bring to the table. And we don't need all of it from everybody, but if each person can do something and do their part, it makes a huge impact. And just to exemplify that, man, we started with 2 kids, like I just shared. This year, 2022, we've served 1,577 kids.
Wow.
And it was a multitude, man. It was an army of people like you and me who stepped in and said, hey, I'm going to do my part, right? I'm going to do something. And for a lot of people, they volunteer, they give their time, they coach, they mentor, they help out at the fields. For some people, man, they don't have the time right now, but man, they're going to make a donation to support what we're doing. So yeah, and then businesses, foundations, I mean, there's all different types of groups who help us out.
It's amazing because I'm on the mentorship side, and you guys have really, it's been a journey. I want to say 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And watch your child, your mentee grow up into this young adult.
Yes, sir.
In an unenviable situation. I mean, we all have stories. We're all human, and we have areas in which are not the best. If we really were to look at a reflection of ourselves, yep. East Austin is changing for those from other parts of the state or country who are watching or listening. East Austin was an economically challenged area, which is gentrifying quickly. And it's you see the good, but you also see the negative and the bad of gentrification.
Right.
For what Matt has done for that community and with the army of RBI, it's phenomenal. And these are just a few faces that I want to share. Mentorship, mentors, individuals involved, donors, just volunteers. I mean, when you see this collaboration here, what comes to your mind, Matt?
Man, family, community, friendship. I mean, I think one of the things that we've learned now 11, 12 years in is I think the most meaningful thing that RBI Austin does is it connects people to community, right? And whether you're a kid, whether you're an adult, whether you're from the east side or the west side of Austin, it connects people to community. And I think we got the foundations of faith, the foundations of sports, mentorship, all these things that connect us. But that's what, yeah, man, you look at this and you got some kids in here. You got, man, one of my favorite parts of, and I haven't had a lot of them, but one of my favorite parts about the COVID couple of years was that picture kind of top center there of some of us hooping. And you're right in the middle of there, Sean, by the way. I think you might have pulled a hamstring that day.
It was both of them.
Yeah. But man, that was, you look at that, and I'll tell you, in the middle of COVID, a lot of the schools in Austin were completely remote, meaning kids, they weren't going to school. They were at home. And whether they were or were not logging into their Zoom classes is up, that's another story. But
yes,
there wasn't community, there wasn't connection. And that group right there, man, that I think for all of us that got to be a part of that, man, I think it was usually Sunday afternoons. We're going out there to that park and hooping it up, having a meal together. That brought hope. That brought a ton of joy. And I think, whether you're talking about during COVID or today or whenever, I think that's what, for me, that's the part that I love about this organization. And what keeps me here is the relationships, without a doubt.
In relationships. And I think just from my experiences and through conversations with you and everyone involved, because we have some phenomenal and generous humans, is people like Justin Simmons. There's so many people, former Longhorn baseball player, former MLB players, and current, like Brandon Belt. There's a long list. And
there is.
Kat Osterman, who could easily just say, I don't have enough time. She and her husband, Joey. And Kat, for people who are saying, I know that name. Well, she's a Hall of Famer. She's a softball legend of the great game of USA softball. She's tall, and she's just has the heart the size of Texas. She's a phenomenal human. She's a big part of this. And when you think of her and individuals like her who have these busy lives, how do you describe those people and why they do what they do for RBI Austin?
Yeah, it's a great point, man. It's been fun to get to know some of these folks, some people like Kat and Simmons and Curtis Thigpen, Houston Street, a lot of these Longhorn legends that are in the area. But man, I think what keeps them involved and passionate, I think one is their heart. I think God's given each of them a heart to serve and to give and to make an impact in this world. Life is short, and I think they each kind of get that and see that, hey, you know what? It's not just about my own personal life, but how can I impact others? And they all have that heart, a servant's heart. And then I do think that the community that's come together around it, anything is more fun when you're doing it with friends and having a good time doing it. And I think we see a lot of that happen as well. But no doubt, man, we've been very blessed by the people that God has brought into this organization and who champion our cause and who bring in their networks to be a part of it as well. And that has been a huge part of what makes it go, not just from a manpower and financial resources, but, role models for the kids in our program as well.
That is huge. That is huge what you said. And, we have several events. RBI Austin has several events throughout the year. And one of them that really starts the year off with a ton of momentum is Now at Bat. And the thing is, I was in the media when you guys had your first Now at Bat. I want to say there were 100 or less people.
Yep.
Matt, this thing has grown to, we're pushing 1,500 people in a room, a hotel banquet room. And I can't wait to hear more, because this is the video that you sent me. This is somewhat of a promo to garner attention, to motivate, and just enough of me talking about it. This is a beautiful piece right here.
When I moved here, I was bullied a little bit, and I also broke my thumb, so I was a little scared coming back to softball. COSA and RBI built my confidence back up. It really helped me get back to the player that I was. Nobody can tear me down, because I will come up again. And I feel like that's a lesson from softball.
COSA is Cat Oshman Softball Academy, powered by RBI Austin. In the fall, we don't have a lot for our junior high and high school softball athletes, and so this was an opportunity to continue training a little bit more year-round. It's important for them to know that you can be great at softball, but there's more to it. Obviously, we take care of the athletic piece on the field, academically, and then spiritually, we've been fortunate that, the athletes that have been part of it these first 2 years, to see the growth in such a short time has been really cool.
The lessons that you learn from RBI, they help me with my faith and helps you in life.
Matt Price, chills. I'm serious. I'm not here just to promote and that because we love this. It's chilling because the stories you've heard. I mean, it kind of honestly, man, it does tap into the emotions.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And those are the stories that's why we're here, man. And that's Heaven there and Kat and that crew with our softball academy. That's a big piece of what we're doing, but it's just one of many relationships that are happening throughout the year. And yeah, man, it's Now at Bat. We do, man, everybody's invited out. We did JW Marriott downtown, big ballroom, plenty of space. And it's a party, man. It's a celebration of all the good things that are happening. And it's a chance to give and support and come together. And more than a few familiar faces from the athletics world that'll be there too.
It is unbelievable. These events, I mean, that event right there. I mean, you talk about laughing and crying in one night.
Yeah.
What was it, Jim Valvano, when he did his Never Give Up speech? In one day, if you laugh, cry, and there's one more leaving it, you've lived a full day.
Yeah. Yep. Amen.
I mean, these people, and some people who go have never been exposed to what people often refer to as underprivileged.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all people need are a chance, or an opportunity, and RBI Austin's an opportunity. Is that? I know you can add more to it, but is that accurate? How to describe this situation that, or what RBI Austin does?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the things I've learned over the years, I spent a number of years living in East Austin and obviously a lot of time within the community for RBI. But that is a lot of the gap. When you look at kids growing up in underserved communities, a lot of bright, talented, young girls and boys. I mean, just like Leontre, right? Just like Jeremiah, who I've gotten a mentor. Very bright, very talented. But a lot of times the gap is the lack of a network, the lack of a broader community of support beyond their immediate family. And I think, man, for all of us, you talk about what are each of us doing in life today? It probably was at least one, if not multiple relationships that kind of got us to where we are and even exposed us to the opportunities that we've gotten to be a part of. And for these kids, man, I think that's the biggest gap is relationship. We always say, hey, we're here to fill the gap of relationships with kids. We believe that's the greatest need in any kid's life, relationships with people and a relationship with God. And when you take the people and you surround these kids with people who want the best for them and want to give them those opportunities, the sky's the limit, man. It really is. And I think that's the special part. No matter what a person's role is in an organization, volunteer, donor, staff member, coach, mentor, whatever it is, you're contributing to that, right? You're giving these kids this community of support, these relationships that frankly can be life-changing, can change the trajectory of their life, and we've seen that. And we're seeing more of that happen as we have more and more kids that are growing up and figuring out what they're going to do for life and having the chance to come back and give and serve themselves. But that's it, man. Yep.
Last year, a father, his testimony, even though he doesn't have a mentor, I kind of left last year thinking, wow, RBI Austin affects and changes lives, even parents' lives. I mean, that's what I walked away from that testimony.
Well, amen. And to your point, Dennis is his name, Dennis Reyes, a good dear friend. And, he has now been a mentor to so many others in this community, right? I mean, he's kind of the patriarch, the grandfather, godfather of East Austin, man. He grew up in Montopolis. And the way that he has, the story you heard about what he's gone through in his life and overcome in his life, but he's now saying, hey, I want to serve, I want to give. And he uses the avenue of baseball and coaching as a way to do that. And it's incredible, man. And that's where a lot of our most faithful, impactful coaches and mentors, it's people like that, right? Who say, man, I want to give back to this community that I'm a part of and give my time, give my efforts to do that. And you're one of those, Sean. I mean, you're one of the ones who's you're an Austinite, and man, you said, hey, I want to give back to this community that I grew up in, and you're doing it, man. And I'm excited to see where Leontre is going to continue to go, man, as he grows up too.
I can't wait. And I'm going to throw some pictures up with this episode of Leontre from our humble beginnings to now. The guy is 10 feet taller than me, and he's a senior at LBJ High School. And I love it. It's beautiful. And shout out to his mother, Samisha. She is a mother who works tirelessly to support basically 4 boys.
Yeah.
And we've been a little disconnected this year. And I want to say, I think COVID really interrupted a lot, but I think we're all getting back to some more of I hate to use the word, but I'll say it, normalcy. But it's affected us all. And thank you, man. This has it's changed me too. And I think all mentors could say that. I don't know who benefits more, the mentees or the mentors.
Amen, brother. Amen.
These ways to volunteer, support, or become a sponsor. End of year giving. When does that end for this month? When does that go through New Year's Eve or?
It does. New Year's Eve at midnight, and we've got our biggest end of year gift match ever. So we had 3 different donors who said, "Hey, we want to put up a gift match challenge for the end of the year." The total of that is $42,500.
Wow.
So between now and the end of the year, your gift is going to be doubled through that gift match challenge. So best time of the year to give, makes a big impact as we launch into 2023 and continue to try to deepen what we can offer to the kids in our program. And so, yeah, there, you got the link right there, but you can give any way you want online. If you have a donor advised fund, you can give that way. Check, however you want to give is great.
Man, it's better than a 401k match.
Come on, man. That's right. Let's go.
You know a little bit about that in that financial
Let's go.
space.
Yes, sir.
And I challenge not everybody who can circle January 20th on your calendars. And purchase, and before the end of this year, I highly recommend purchasing your tickets. Are there any details you can give for that registering and a deadline possibly, and what to expect this year?
Absolutely. It's going to be another stellar event. As far as registering, we still do have a little bit of time if you want to sponsor your own table and have you and 10 of your best friends join you for the event. We still have that open for a couple more weeks. And that's our table sponsorships start at $3,000.
Yeah.
They go up all the way to $30,000. So if you're looking to do a larger gift, that fits in the queue as well. And then we have individual seats as well. So for anybody who wants to attend but doesn't have your own table, you can purchase individual seats for $300 a pop. And the easiest way to do that, just go to rbiaustin.org/now-at-bat. So same as the giving link, except instead of give at the end, just say now at bat. And you'll see all the event details. And you'll see on there our host committee, incredible group of people, got several big leaguers on there, Kat Osterman on there, others that you guys are going to recognize their names. We're still kind of formulating exactly what the program will look like. We're going to have, it's going to be a great crew. As always, University of Texas baseball and softball will have a presence there. So you might hear from 1 or 2 of them at the event.
Yeah.
But man, it's shaping up to be a good one, man. Can't wait.
It's well worth it. And I highly recommend Ubering, by the way.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Or get a room at the JW that night, man. And
that's a staycation.
Staycation. Yep.
It's well worth it. And listen, I hate throwing figures out there, but I remember our conversation last year. We were in the room with Coach Pierce, the Texas baseball coach, and you and I don't know what it was conversation. I said, Matt, I feel like a record's going to be broken with the silent auction. And sure enough, we met. It was over 700,000 in one night. I want to throw this out there. I honestly feel I feel it. My intuition is I'm batting 900 with my intuition in life. I want to say $1 million will be hit this year.
Oh, come on, man.
Man, I feel it. I really do. And I should have talked to you about this before we recorded this. But from a financial point of view, what all the costs? What does that cover year round for all of these kids that we support and provide for?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a great question. So it covers a few things. One, we've talked about baseball, softball mentoring. So those are kind of our 3 pillars of the programs we offer. On the baseball, softball front, this year we had 90 teams, so 90 teams between baseball, softball, and t-ball. And so you talk about ball field costs, you talk about uniforms, equipment, you talk about the personnel to kind of make it all happen and find our coaches and get them in place. Our baseball academy that former big leaguer Donald Harris is leading for us. Softball, as we just talked about, Kat Osterman leading for us. And then you talk about some of the mentoring opportunities, mentoring programs that happen. I know you were at our RBI family Christmas party last night. So events like that to celebrate together, to be family together, mentoring opportunities throughout the year. One of the things that we're starting to dive into and focus in more on is thinking about higher education. How can we prepare kids for that next level? We have a softball scholarship fund that we're just kicking off that Kat has helped us get launched. And so, man, there's so many ways that the money goes to. And one of the things that we like to point out is your gift goes a long way because we're a volunteer-driven organization, meaning we do have paid staff. We've got 12 of them, but we have 567 volunteers that are putting in hours and hours, just like you, to serve our kids. And so when people give, we're not a model of, okay, well, all that is just going to pay the people who are serving the kids. It's getting multiplied by those volunteers giving a bunch of time.
Yeah.
And so, man, we had 1,577 kids this year. And our operating budget was about 1.2 million. So you do the math and we're talking, a little less than 1,000 kids to be part of the program. But that's where it goes.
No, that sums it up. And that's, because everybody, let's be honest, everybody would like to know where their money is going. And for an organization like this, I could say it, but it wouldn't have served as good justice as coming out of the mouth of the Matt Price. There's no doubt about it. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side, we're going to talk a little sports talk with Matt Price.
Come on.
There's something, you're from Corpus, so you know a lot about San Antonio and competing against those programs. And San Antonio has the honor of something that I don't think a lot of people in this are aware of in this country. And that's coming around on the other side of this break. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended.
This is JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers. And segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave is next.
JJ. Baseball to bull riding.
Yes, sir. He's a good man.
He's a fine American, JJ Gotch is. One thing, if you had to guess, what do you think of this 2022 football season in college football? What city in America can claim the winningest city in the nation in college football?
So we're talking multiple schools here, right? That's kind of where it's going. Yeah. The winningest, and are we talking just Division I, or what are we talking?
All levels of college football.
Really? And are we talking about? I'm getting really granular here, but specific city, or could a metroplex count? Does DFW count?
Yeah. I think a metroplex could be a part. But this is going to surprise you. And it surprised me.
Oh, so I'm not going to guess this. No, because I was going to go DFW with TCU, SMU, and some of the other schools.
North Texas and
yeah.
This is shocking. This is unbelievable. I want to say the epicenter of college football is in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh,
look at this.
Here we go.
We'll begin with Jeff Traylor's Roadrunners.
Wow.
Back-to-back double-digit wins. Number 25 in the CFP. They won the Conference USA again. And they're playing in the Cure Bowl, which I think is tonight against Troy, another conference champion. UIW. Their 2 wins from the FCS, which is Lower Division I National Championship. Look at that record, 12-1. And then Division III, Trinity Tigers, 11-1. And they made it to the second round of the D3 playoffs. That's collectively 34-4 overall. San Antonio.
Yeah, that was not my guess. Would have never guessed that.
Hey, if another subject, it's not sports, but I've got to ask the great Matt Price, what's your favorite Christmas movie since we are in the holiday season?
Home Alone.
That's a good one.
All the way, man. Home Alone.
It's a good one. And I still don't think Die Hard is truly – a lot of people will fight me over that. I just don't think Die Hard's a true Christmas movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's a stretch.
It is. And it's Mine's pretty obvious. It's goofy. I love it. It never gets old. And the great Todd Dodge and I have, and I don't know why that looks like that. There's 3 of them on the side, or 4. But Christmas Vacation. The quotes are phenomenal, Matt. Save the neck for me, Clark. That's legendary. Is there one in particular from there that this pops up every Christmas season?
A quote from man, I'm gonna fail you on that one. I feel like the only movie I have good quotes from is Anchorman. I don't know why, but that's the movie where
that's a good one.
The quotes can roll off, but otherwise, man, I can't help you.
Yeah, well, the other one is when Clark was waiting for his Christmas bonus, and he was going to put a pool in. His boss sent him a year membership of the Jelly of the Month Club, and Cousin Eddie says it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Love it.
Hey, a gift idea. It is inspired by a certain segment in Stories Inside the Man Cave. Manscaping in the Man Cave. That's what we do. We've evolved as a society, Matt Price. I don't know if you're a manscaped.com product user or not. We may have to add that to your stocking.
Yeah, I can't claim it right now.
Well, it's a phrase that I've learned. Well, I've kind of coined, but our significant others would prefer us probably not to resemble the German Black Forest on most days. But I can honestly tell you, Manscaped.com has evolved too. But their OG products like the Lawnmower 4.0, it's waterproof. It works. Man, you don't have to use it, but maybe every 4 or 5 days. And then the nose trimmer, ear trimmer. If you're as old as I am, you start getting these unsightly weeds that are coming out. It looks like someone poured Evergrow on them or whatever. They're just longer than my finger, and you don't want to go out looking like that.
That's right.
Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code MANCAVE20, all one word, for 20% off. And I think that's a great deal. It's called, like Mac Brown said, it's a neat deal.
It's a neat deal.
There we go. You a TikTok user?
I am not a TikTok user, and my wife and many would joke to me about my lack of social media knowledge. But man, talk to me. I know you are.
Well, it's kind of good to curtail your social media usage, particularly Twitter, because it's both comical and toxic at the same time.
Yeah.
There's too much division. It's not a good representative of what's really out there. But this is funny, and to all our Aggie friends, this is humor. We love you. We're all family in this great state of Texas. But this guy does it's funny. You'll laugh when you see it. He has put together a story on TikTok on how Texas A&M came up with their name Aggies. And it's all brought to us by our favorite realtor, Kevin Hutchison.
Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
Howdy. Okay, welcome to Texas A&M. You guys are in charge of selecting a nickname and mascot, all that kind of stuff, so let's get started. I think we should keep it simple. Absolutely. Or we could completely overdo it and come up with an unnecessary number of hints, signals, sayings, or traditions that are completely overwhelming and confusing. That's probably better. Wait, what does A&M even stand for? Applebee's and McDonald's. It's where most of our graduates work. It's agricultural and mechanical. Ooh, that's long and boring. Let's shorten to Aggies. Done. Let's go to Applebee's. Great. Okay, how long are you going to do that? This would be our sign to each other. It's only special to Aggies. Okay, that's literally the worldwide sign for good job. Haha, gig 'em. Yeah, gig 'em. Wait, what? Gigging those horned frogs. That's when you stab a frog with a small trident and kill it? I'm calling PETA. All right, listen, we do need a mascot for Aggies. It's gotta be a dog. Why? Because when your name's confusing like ours, you just default to a dog as your mascot. Let's have a collie named Reveille. Hard to spell. Reveille. Yeah, and when she dies, we'll bury her outside the stadium so she can watch us win. Even though she's dead. Seems weird. Well, we need a corps of cadets, of course. And we gotta have cheerleaders, right? Yeah. Nope. Yell leaders. 5 dudes. What? What do they do? Well, they yell. They talk a lot, lead it through a bunch of weird chants. At pep rallies, they'll tell jokes. Everyone will pretend to laugh. It'll be great. Oh, we can dress them in all white uniforms, pure like angels. Or milk. Love milk. But the best tradition will be that one day you'll get the beloved Aggie ring. Did you get that from one of those claw machines? Yeah, I did. We had to cut the budget because of our football coach's $95 million salary. Whoa, we're going to be number 1 in the nation. More like 5 and 7. For that much money, are we going to lead the nation in anything? Yeah, most players in the transfer portal. 12th man.
Ooh.
Humor.
Sean, I got to be careful here, man, because I married an Aggie, and not just married an Aggie. I married into an Aggie family where they all went to A&M. So I got to be careful here. But yeah, that was pretty spot on.
That was I want to put the emoji of the zipper on the mouth over your face right now.
Yeah. Don't let them see this.
No, don't. Yeah, that was hilarious. A&M 5 and 7 this year. Is Jimbo Fisher fairly criticized, or I told everybody it was going to be a rebuilding year? I didn't see 5 and 7, but is he receiving too much criticism?
He is not receiving too much criticism because not only did he get a fully guaranteed $75 million contract to begin, he got that extension a year ago. And man, I feel for my Aggie friends because, man, this guy was supposed to bring A&M back to the top,
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to turn the tide and elevate A&M above the Longhorns in football, and it has not. I mean, to be honest, I'm just wondering, how much longer they're going to keep them around.
Yeah, well, that buyout is significant.
Yeah.
I think after next year, if they don't get back up to 8 or 9 wins. But the thing is, the transfer portal creates a massive hole in programs nowadays. I mean, 22 Aggies have entered the portal.
Wow.
Texas has a few. Texas, it's going to happen to every program every year.
Yep.
What's your take on the combination, if you can comment, on the NIL and the transfer portal? In theory, both are needed and necessary, but what you've seen after these first 2 years, what's your take on all this?
Man, I think they need to have more regulation on both fronts. Okay. I mean, I love, hey, let's compensate these players when they're generating millions and millions for their university. Let's compensate them. I think that makes sense, but you got to have some level of regulation on it. On the transfer portal side, man, I miss the days when a player transferred and they had to sit out a year. I miss those days.
Yeah.
Just it's just not teaching these young college student athletes about real life. In life, there are consequences to your choices, right? And if you choose a school and end up not liking it, you have the right to transfer, but the consequence should be you sit out for a year, and it makes it a little less easy to just move around every year, right?
Yeah.
So that's my thought, man. There's a purpose for NIL and for the transfer portal, but have a little bit more regulation, make it a little bit more even as far as the pros and the cons for people taking advantage of those.
No, I agree 100%. I'm all for the portal, all for NIL. I think NIL has become, what it should offer every student athlete is an opportunity for employment to market a product or group or company.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's become, and I've had people tell me who I trust, told me now you have players on rosters, and these are programs in other parts of the region, saying, going up to their assistant coaches and saying, what do I need to do to get X amount of dollars that we discussed during my recruitment? Where is that? How do I access that? And during a practice.
Oh, wow.
Or in a team meeting or a position group. Transfer portal's good, but now you're seeing, I thought it was a one-time transfer, but now you're seeing guys manipulating. It just, I think the gray area needs to shrink.
Yep.
You got to keep both.
Yeah, I think you keep both, but fine-tune them a little bit, bring a little bit more regulation to it, and let it serve its purpose. But I think, Sean, the hard thing with college football is for so long, man, you'd follow these players and you'd say, man, we're going to get 4 years of this quarterback, or at least 3. And it kind of, I mean, as a fan of college football, it kind of takes away from the rivalries and just what the game is. You know, It feels a little bit more like a pro sport. And no knock on pro sports, but man, I've always loved college football a lot more than pro football. And it's starting to feel a little bit more like pro football, which I don't think is a good thing.
No, and even it trickles down to look what LSU's doing in recruiting.
Yeah,
that coaching staff's done a phenomenal job, but they have to perform.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Since it is the holiday season, this is fitting for us to end on this.
Hey Ben, tell me something good.
It's something good. It is one of my favorite segments, and it has become something because we're in a world of everyone's negative. Not everyone, or it seems that way. And there's a lot of people going through some tough times right now. What you see, Matt, you see a lot in the position you are with RBI Austin. Tell the folks something good that you witnessed and you see, and what gives you optimism as we close out the year with the holidays and begin a new year.
Absolutely. All right. This one's easy for me. So a woman named Miss Barbara Scott, who has really become a mentor, a role model to me, a hero to me. Barbara Scott, she is from East Austin, lived there for over 40 years. She's probably, I don't want to guess on her age. That wouldn't be kind, but older than we are. Let's say that. And about 4 or 5 years ago, she got connected to RBI and she said, hey, we need to get the kids from our neighborhood involved in this organization. Within the same day, I get a call from her with each of the principals from her neighborhood for the elementary schools there saying, hey, Matt, I'm talking to principal so-and-so, and they're ready to get their kids involved in RBI. And since we've gotten a number of kids involved, well, she then hears that we're looking for a property to build a home for RBI Austin. We operate out of schools. We operate out of City Fields, which we love, which we always want to do, but to have a home base to do our organization program ministry 365 days a year is been a need of ours. And she heard about this and she said, hey, I want to introduce you to a local pastor in town. This church owns 33 acres in our neighborhood. Long story short, and I know you know this story, but long story short, this church essentially donates 33 acres in East Austin to RBI Austin to build this home. And we got it rezoned recently. We're in the permitting with the city. So God willing, in the next couple of years, we're going to be building and opening up shop out there. But this woman, I tell you what, Sean, I mean, she is faithful. She serves that community in so many ways. There's a new development going up out there in Colony Park that's really been 50 years in the making. And she's helped push it through the city and gotten it approved. And now they're getting to work on that. Gonna have a heated pool out there. Anyway, she's done so much for this community, and she's not doing it for the fame and for the glory, and she's doing it out of her heart because she loves to serve, loves to give. And man, that is, I think it's a model for me that I want to be more like Barbara Scott. But man, she's a good woman, and I think the definition of good.
That may be the best tell me something good story I've heard in 213 episodes. They've all been good, but that takes the cake. I challenge everyone, if you have a moment and you're here in Austin or you travel to Austin, go to the east side and just visit and maybe talk to a couple of people, and you'll see what we're talking about. But also, if you live here, join a group. Doesn't have to be RBI Austin. Get involved, and growth is inevitable, but individuals like Miss Scott cross their path, and there's so many leaders on that east side because the east side has received a bad rep because of certain things out of people's control. There's some tremendous people with significant stories.
Amen.
Before integration, and now it's just. Like I tell the story of the two Anderson high schools merging now as communities merging together to form a bond that's unbreakable.
Yeah.
Honoring the history.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Matt. It really is. And that's one of the reasons I'm grateful to be a part of RBI Austin and call you guys family.
Man, I'm grateful for you as well, brother. Appreciate all you do.
Man, thank you. I'm one of these days I'm going to do more. There is no doubt. There's no doubt. That day's coming.
Amen.
And happy holidays and Merry Christmas to your family and to all of our brothers and sisters of RBI Austin.
Hey, same to you, brother. Appreciate you, Sean. Thanks for all you do, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And for the Matt Price and his lovely family, and for all of RBI Austin, and to the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo. Uh-oh. It's freezing up on me.
Uh-oh.
We are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.